Okay, welcome back to Nick Comic Corner Classic Class Non-Classic. This episode number 1418 and Doubleshot number... Actually, 1419, excuse me. And Doubleshot number 1313. Alright, I got two DC trades. Both of them finales, mostly anyways. First up it is Green Arrow, Volume 2, Salvation. This is the final trade to collect issues from Green Arrow Volume 4. Issues number 8 through 15. Yep. Yeah, this continues the whole thing with Brightest Day stuff. Heck, this in because, well, I will get to some of this related Brightest Day in a minute. Yeah, mostly this is all about the forest, about the Star City forest. That's mostly what this whole storyline is about. Plus a brief guest appearance by Swamp Thing, because it was the Brightest Day tie-ins. Of course, screwed Swamp Thing. We also have guest appearances by Black Canary, her appearance in this particular book and throughout this whole 15-issue run is reduced to a cameo, along with a brief cameo by Arsenal, which that was interesting. Mia Dearden. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's even guest star appearances by Dr. Mid-nite, Miss Terrific of the JSA, and of course Galahad is here. We get a little bit about his backstory here, where he's not from the King Arthur myth. He's basically from modern day. He was a teacher who basically used to teach King Arthur lore, and his daughter Amber became sick and later apparently died. Yep. But in the case of this book, it's good. Really good. And the Swamp Thing stuff was very interesting. I love the fact it was built to be really well. Though, yeah, that was simply it for this particular run. Yep. I mean, you have J.T. Kroll, basically, as a writer. And you have James Patrick, also as a co-writer. You have Dustin Neves, Beneath Kovitz, and Oscar Albert, along with August Palin, who does the interior artist. The cover art here is by our video by Allegory. Yep. I love the fact the artwork is still basically doing the style of New Adams. In the case of this book, it's really good. Really thoroughly enjoyable. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Final thoughts on this very brief run. Yep, these two trades collect Volume 4 of Green Arrow. Yeah, this is simply it. Because the relaunch happened right after this. And this book was actually really good. Though I thought one thing I thought was quite dumb with this book is that there was two plot threads. They started this book and then they dropped them because of Brightest Day. Isabel Rochep, which she got wrapped up with issue 6, and she was never mentioned again in this series. There's not even a mention about Queen Enterprise. No mention of it at all. It's like Green Arrow and so on. Nothing to do with it at all. And we also have basically the whole story of the corrupt police commissioner being killed, and nothing is done about it. Nope, never investigated, just completely dropped. And, well, they probably dropped it because of the Brightest Day stuff related to the forest, and basically heavily tied into Brightest Day. Yeah, this started issue 7. It had basically loose things here and there from the start, and then basically the main thing about this run. There's a brief guest appearance here by Jason Blood for a couple of issues, because apparently Etrigan got separated from him because it relates to the Star City Forest. Heck, we even had it where Poison Ivy tried to control the forest and they turned on her, which is interesting. Yep. I gotta say, not bad run per se. No, it isn't. Though, it got cut off. Though, the end of this particular run, in the final issue, Green Arrow was offered a position with the U.S. Marshals, which is interesting, to say the least. Yeah. Also seems as though that the whole plot of him clearing his name become a recognizable hero. Yeah, that's completely dropped because of the Brightest Day stuff. Yep. I thought it was kind of strange they dropped everything because of Brightest Day. But the Brightest Day stuff was written really well. I think J.T. Kroll did a great job of the book. And shockingly enough, right after this, the new 52 relaunch. Right after this. I've already covered that. And thanks for covering these two trades here. I have now officially can say I've covered for Green Arrow from years from 2011 to present. Yep. Alright, moving on to another final trade in a way. This is basically the finale for Jeff Lemire's run for Justice League United. Yep. This is known as the Infinitus Saga. This collects issues Justice League United 6 through 10 and the annual. Yes, there's Futures One Shot for Justice League United and Justice League. I've covered these one shots already in Futures End. I own it. In the Futures End, like omnibus book, so I'm not going to cover that here. In the case of this book here, The annual is the first thing you start for this very storyline, with the return of the Legion of Superheroes, and we also the return of Legion Lost, which is the first time either of these two groups have been seen since the end of their own self-titled series. I think in the case of Legion Lost, they've not been seen since like 2013, and that was like about 2 years prior to this, and actually a year prior to it was actually 1 year prior to this, and in the case of the lead superheroes, basically year two. Basically, you have two different storylines here. The stuff with Infinitus and Legion of Superheroes, plus also with Green Arrow taking on Beowulf and Hawk being possessed by him. Yep. And we have a Lemire Panther with Adam Strange and the Zeta Beams. Yeah. And it's a good space opera for this particular book. It is purely fantastic and a really good storyline. And I know, yes, it's been a while since I've covered this particular book, but yeah, it is really, really good. Of course, Jeff Lemire is the writer of this book. All of the issues written by Neil Edwards. And the cover art is done by Neil Edwards and Jay Liston. The tier cover art is done by Andrew Robinson, Mike McCone, and Gabe Elliott. Yeah. Pure fun of a story like a whole lot of superheroes. The lead superhero members who evolve in this storyline: Brainiac 5, Saturn Girl, Dream Girl. This reappearance by Saturn Shadow Lass. Mon-El is part of the storyline, where he's still technically married to Shadow Lass. Apparently, Infinitus was like this, the only creature that built up of this whole thing. And I like the fact that kind of wrapped up this whole. You can think of it the way the very first 10 issues is a wrap up of an entire story arc, because issue 10, that's simply not only the end of a run, but also the end of Jeff Lemire's, this whole story arc with the whole Justice League United. And they're basically the Justice League. Yeah, this is the first shape for it. Yeah, they're basically the Justice League, and they never refer to themselves as Justice League United the whole book, despite like technically Justice League United. Yep. Now, mostly deal with Hawkman is just Green Arrow, Supergirl, and I think Ant-Man. Yeah. Hawkman himself just gets freed, and they basically deal with Anagar, and of course he goes off and doing his own thing with the book. Though, here's one thing I don't like about this. Part of this roster is dropped by the time Jeff Parker takes this book with issue 11. These following characters are dropped from the book for no reason: Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, and Green Arrow. Yes, for some strange reason, these three characters are dropped from the book, and whatever this run established is completely ignored by the next writer. Yep. But in the case of the story overall, it is really good. Give this a 10 out of 10. Really good. I like the fact the character Equinox basically gets a good build here. Though, one thing I don't like about this is that when Jeff Parker takes over, it basically becomes a completely different book altogether. I mean, it basically is like, oh, let's have these characters join for like one story arc, lasts for like an issue or two, and then that's it. And this lasts for the last 6 issues of the series. I will eventually get that particular run. It's a very brief run, but the Lemire run is really good. Shocking he left once his storyline wrapped up, though. Strange, you want to know what happened to him as soon as he left this series? He went to Marvel to do all new Hawkeye. Yep, that's basically what he did. And then he came back recently to DC a few years ago, where he did the Terrifics, where he worked with his artist from the series, Mike McCone. He did the interior artwork. Yep. But yeah, not much else to say about Justice League United. It's just really good, great space opera type of storyline. And kind of in a way, you kind of think of this as Lemire wrapping up some loose ends from Legion superheroes. Well, mostly Legion Lost, because I'm sure in the case of their book, they were simply put just, they had like some loose ends. Like, they basically didn't return to the future. And with this, yeah, they returned to the future, right? And this, kind of in the way we last would see Legion superheroes for, get this, for about 4 years. Yep. They would not return again until Brian Michael Bendis brought him back in his run for the book for Action. I think it was Superman, when they brought back the United Federation of Planets. So he kind of in the way rebooted the group with his Legion superheroes book, which I didn't think the book was that terrible. Though my friend Tibbet, he hates the book. Yep. Yeah, and so that's pretty much going to be it for this particular video. I'm taking a break from basically talking about comics for a bit, get all the rest of my voice. Though my next video I'm going to do is going to be a review of How Not to Summon Demon Lord. Yeah, I'm going to do that next, plus 2 more comic corners, and then I'll do Shaman King, and well, then I'll do 7 Days Sins, then Shaman King, and let's see. Well, I got 7 comic corners altogether, and this basically is like half of them so far. So I'll do 2 more after I do How Not to Summon Demon Lord, and then I'll do the next 2. Basically, at that point, there'll be about 1 more left. Yeah, actually, 2 more left at that point. I'll probably do that just after I do Shaman King, because next one I have to do How Not to Demon Lord will be 7 Deadly Sins. Then I'll do Shaman King, and I think when I do Shaman King, I'll do my last 2 comic corners. And hopefully that'll be at this point. Yep, so to this next video. Bye.